Now at 5, Utah is a winter wonderland, and now a missing piece of the snowy season is back. We talked to Utahns lining up for sleigh rides and learning about the majestic animals who make it all possible. Plus,
I mean, he's just another kid, just like other moms are raising kids too.
Selling ceviche for a good cause. We hear from an Ogden mom who takes pivoting to a whole new level. And
when we show up, we don't want to make things worse. We want to make things better.
Facing people at their worst. Police entering tense situations on the daily. The training officers go through to keep the peace.
Live, we're there for you. ABC4 News at 5 starts now.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Courtney Johns. Glenn Mills and Emily Flores are off tonight. We're starting the show with the University of Utah football team getting ready in Las Vegas, where in about an hour, the Utes will take on USC for the Pac-12 championship. ABC4's Dana Green joins us live from Allegiant Stadium. And Dana, there has to be a ton of excitement about the possibility of the Utes repeating as champions.
No doubt about it, Courtney. Utah fans are hoping to smell the roses once again. The winner of tonight's game between Utah and USC is moving on to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Now, Utah and USC have played before this year, a 43-42 thriller won by the Utes. That was the Trojans' only loss of the season. They haven't lost since. Utah, meanwhile, had to have a lot of things happen right just to get back to Vegas. So maybe this is a team of destiny.
All the cards have fallen into place, and just everything that we needed to happen happened, and just gotta go see it through now. Just really keep it going. You know what to expect. You know what it's gonna look like, and just gotta go there and just go have some fun.
I think it just brings more confidence because it's more familiar to us. You know, we're not gonna be like deer in the headlights. We've been there before.
They have been here before. In fact, this is the fourth time in 5 years the Utes have made it all the way to the Pac-12 championship game. Just a testament to what Kyle Whittingham has built. Coming up in about 15 minutes in sports, we're going to take a look back at the Utes' Pac-12 championship game history, and they're hoping recent history repeats itself. Live at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Dana Green, ABC4 Sports.
All right, you behave out there, Dana. Turning now to the greatest snow on Earth. Depending on where you're watching from, you might have woken up to loads of fluffy snow piled up on your car. ABC4 News was out before the sun came out to bring you the latest on what was expected to be a messy commute. But a lot of the people we talked to say the snowplows took care of a lot of it just in time, clearing the way for a relatively smooth drive this morning. But in Cottonwood Canyons, many skiers and snowboarders ready to check out that new powder. We're dealing with some rough traffic. Take a look at that right there. Parking lots filling up fast, with some people hoping to shred powder on the day. We're out of luck, but others got to bask in the greatest snow on Earth. And it just looks amazing, Alana. I don't know what we're doing here. It looks fabulous out there.
It was, but there does come with a little bit of danger. We picked up that snow pretty quickly in a short window, and we saw that pile up. Now, good news on the commute, but we did see valley snow. This was a look at the ABC4 backyard earlier this morning, where we picked up several inches. But it wasn't just us, the high country, picking up more than a foot. Live look at Alta, really pretty shot here. They got 13 inches of snow from this system in the overnight. That's why the line was so long to get up the canyon. Snowbird in that same arena, Brighton, getting just shy of a foot, 9 inches at Solitude, 7 inches at Park City Mountain. So we know that avalanche danger comes with these heavy totals. Now that the storm has moved on, the cold air, well, it's staying behind. Not a surprise if you've stepped out at all today. Into the 20s, we've dropped from the 30s. We were barely above freezing in Salt Lake. Now sitting at 28, we're freezing in Wendover, freezing in Price, Milford, upper 50s in St. George. Looking at the 24-hour temperature change, it tells the story of how robust that cold front actually was. 23 degrees colder than where we were yesterday in Logan, Salt Lake, Evanston, close to that, 13 degrees colder in Milford. The chill sticks around as we head into tonight. High pressure wants to take control, which means we will eventually get some warmer air. But until then, clear skies will allow for those lows to take a serious dip. The reason the weekend will be unsettled, coming up in my full forecast in just a few moments. Courtney, back to you.
Thanks, Alana. Mother and daughter say they are traumatized after a man pretended to be a police officer. Unified Police say it started when a truck driver began following close behind the mother and daughter who were out looking at holiday lights. They say he was wearing all black and had a taser, handcuffs, and a radio. Police say he flashed his headlights and the rotating lights installed on his roof, trying to pull over the woman. Now, the woman sensed something was off and called 911. Police tracked down the man, and now he is facing several charges.
Behind the Badge, brought to you by Big O Tires, the team you trust.
How do police prevent a dangerous moment from getting out of hand? You hear about the times they may have used excessive force, but almost never how they managed to stop something from happening in the first place. Their training for that part is a big part of what officers do every day. ABC4's Brian Carlson shows us how they de-escalate tense situations in today's Behind the Badge.
There's obviously police failures that make the news, but just looking at the volume of calls police respond to every day, we want to know, how do they avoid daily situations from turning into something bigger? There are specific things they're trained on to do just that.
Police stories that make headlines often mean something happened. A shooting, police chase, drug bust, or SWAT standoff. But you rarely hear what police do to make sure nothing happens.
How often would you say you have to use de-escalation skills on the job?
Every single shift.
The art of talking someone out of doing something.
You gotta help me! My husband, he's acting crazy!
De-escalating the situation is part of what police in Riverton regularly train to do.
This is my baby!
Riverton Police are one of roughly 15 Utah police agencies who come each year to this virtual training center with the State Attorney General's office, learning to de-escalate tense moments on the job.
Bill, put your gun away!
You can experience virtually any situation here that you would encounter on the street.
That's who I am!
Much like the concept of an airline pilot that would go through a flight simulator.
Being an astronaut.
In addition to other training, Riverton officers come here to practice skills like keeping their distance, avoiding words that trigger someone in crisis, finding common ways to connect, to calm someone down, and allowing themselves enough time to make sure the situation ends peacefully. These skills came in handy for Riverton de-escalation instructor, Officer Robert Snell.
I'm just here to talk to you, figure out what's going on. Like I said, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear what
who once used them to convince a suicidal teenager armed with 2 knives not to kill himself.
You know, I was able to just take the time with this kid, talk to him, see what was going on, figure out what was causing him to feel suicidal in that moment. And he started to realize that it didn't make much sense. We ended up taking him to the hospital for a psychological evaluation, but without having to use force with a person in mental health crisis with 2 edge weapons.
Similar stories seem to play out throughout the department.
Units heading up to the coast.
Of Riverton's 18,000 calls to police in 2021, only 51 ended with police using force.
People look to us to help them with their problems. And when we show up, we don't want to make things worse, we want to make things better. And de-escalation is the key to do that.
Riverton police say the goal is to help everyone come home safe. If they do it right, you may never hear about it.
And that training isn't just limited to Riverton and a handful of police agencies. Police tell me Utah law requires officers to complete 16 hours of specialized training a year. That includes things like de-escalating situations, making arrests, and responding to people with mental health concerns. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. 2 years is too long for some Utahns who look forward to one part of the winter season in particular: sleigh rides. Today, the sleigh rides at Hardware Wildlife Management Area are back open for business once again. ABC4's Ali O'Rulian is talking to the experts about why they brought back the holiday season favorite and why it went away in the first place.
If you guys are ready, have a seat and we'll have Jared unhook us and we'll get going.
It's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together in Cache County.
Yeah, it was a great time.
It was more than expected.
This is the first year since 2019 that you can go on a sleigh ride at Hardware Wildlife Management Area. The pandemic canceled the rides in 2020 and the drought canceled the rides in 2021.
So we did not have water to water the hay, and so we did not have enough hay to hold the elk over for a pleasant wildlife viewing experience.
Marnie Lee, an employee of DWR for 19 years, says she's never seen that before. But thanks to a partnership with local business Haviland's Old West Adventures, they're able to saddle up again and provide sleigh rides for the public. DWR herds these elk in the canyon to check for diseases and to keep them in the mountains.
We feed up to about 600 during the winter season, and that's to keep them overwinter here in the higher elevations so they don't become a nuisance down in Cache Valley.
And it's a great place to get up and close to wildlife and learn more about the importance of Utah's biodiversity. Their goal is to get people face to face with Utah's wildlife and experience something they never have before.
We want people to leave feeling excited about wildlife and wanting to contribute to our management efforts as an agency.
In Cache County, I'm Allie O'Rulian, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Allie. Treacher-Collins syndrome is a rare genetic disorder recently featured on a movie called Wonder. But for one Ogden family, it's something they live with every day. This is 16-month-old Odysseus Sandoval, or Odie. He loves to play with his siblings and uses oxygen to breathe at night. Before he was born, his mother worked 2 jobs to pay the bills, and then Odie needed full-time care, and she filled that role as well, getting creative to make money. She makes and sells ceviche while helping other parents who have children with special needs.
So I do early intervention, and there's a lot of other moms that don't go out. They're scared, and I'm like, don't be scared. You can't be scared.
Sandoval is a certified food handler of 3 years along with her eldest son. They'll be selling another batch this weekend, and you can find more details on our website. That's at abc4.com. It is the season of giving, and the ABC4 News team is helping Toys for Tots gather donations to brighten up the holidays for children in need. So you can drop off new unwrapped toys or gifts for toddlers to teens to any Papa Murphy's location or right here at the ABC4 station until December 18th. Still ahead, a vacationer's cruise goes south fast. The dramatic tale of an overboard fall and surviving 20 hours in the ocean.
And there's that live look from West Valley City, looking at the Wasatch, fresh snow on the ground in West Valley, as well as the mountains. This storm pattern has been active. Will it stay that way for the weekend? Answers in Utah's most accurate forecast.